Yarnum, a city of stunning Gothic Revival architecture, home of the famous Healing Church. But what, actually, medically speaking, is the beast plague that is ravaging the city? I'm Clover, microbiologist, and I headed to Yarnum to investigate. I was called to the city of Yarnum to help with an investigation of an outbreak of a previously undescribed disease known locally as the beast plague. Yarnum is a remote city with limited resources and intense cultural taboos hindered my investigation.
Wretched outsider, trying to fool me to open this door.
Upon arrival, the outbreak was immediately obvious, and I was able to observe many cases. Patients develop characteristic physical symptoms and behavioural abnormalities as the disease progresses. In the early stages of infection, nodules form over the body with a particular prevalence on the face. These nodules may break open to form ulcers and sores. Nodules on the face are often disfiguring, giving a beast-like appearance, obscuring the bridge of the nose and in some cases preventing the eyes from opening. Ulcers forming in and around the soft tissue of the mouth are particularly damaging and seem to progress quickly. These ulcers can cause the flesh of the mucosa to necrose, leading to the teeth being exposed behind damaged lips. Teeth can appear elongated as the gums recede due to damage. Hearing impairment is common, suggesting the inner ears are also damaged. The most distinctive behavioural symptom is that patients display an irrational aggression towards non-infected individuals, which makes attempts at treatment extremely challenging. In other diseases where aggression is a symptom, transmission often occurs via the saliva, and the disease is thus spread by biting. There is also a notable simultaneous fascination with and fear of fire in patients, suggesting that there may be some kind of change in light perception. As the disease progresses, the bones become involved. Inflammation leads to excessive bone growth that is brittle, leading to the characteristic lengthened limbs and loss of coordination. Bone spurs may even form around the nose and jaw, causing further disfigurement. In the late stages of the disease, the skin is covered in open wounds and may begin to flake or slough off. Many patients experience unusual and excessive hair growth. This appears to be a secondary symptom that can be attributed to hair syndrome, hypertrichosis after infectious rash, where unusual hair growth occurs after repeated trauma to the skin. It may also be a consequence of malnutrition and rapid weight loss in infected individuals. Animals too appear to be suffering from infection, though their condition could be attributed to another disease that was spreading in the unsanitary conditions or abandonment after the death or incapacitation of their owners. I could not get close enough to any animals to safely collect samples to confirm whether they're suffering from the same condition. I toured a local medical facility and was disturbed by the conditions. Yarnum has evidently not heard of the work of Ignaz Semmelweis on hand washing, let alone the germ theory of disease. Bloody rags are openly displayed around the facility as if to demonstrate the experience of the doctors, as was done in centuries past. My immediate suspicion was of a viral infection, due in part to the behavioural similarities with rabies. Viral infections are more likely to cause widespread symptoms across multiple body systems, as observed in patients with the beast plague. However, bone involvement is rare in viral infections, and the lesions on the skin were not characteristic of a viral rash, like chickenpox. Some experimentation by local health researchers to make cold blood also provided evidence that the infectious agent was filterable, that is, it's too large to be a virus. I then considered the possibility of a prion disease due to the evidence of cannibalism. Prion diseases are caused by misfolded proteins that spread their mistakes to other essential proteins. They are spread by consumption of contaminated brain or spinal cord material, particularly when this is conspecific. The most famous prion disease is so-called mad cow disease, or bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Prion diseases tend to affect the nervous system and are famous for causing erratic behavioural changes. However, prion diseases are not known to directly affect the skin or other tissue, and I could see no evidence that the physical symptoms of the beast plague were caused by compulsive self-harm, as in the case of Scrapie. After hearing that the locals attempted to manage the infected using quicksilver, I recalled the historic use of mercury to treat syphilis, and the pieces finally began to fall into place. Treponema species are bacteria that cause several severe systemic infections, with different features depending on the strain and mode of transmission. Most famous is syphilis, but there are also the tropical diseases yaws and begel. Like the beast plague, syphilis and its relatives, yaws and begel, also show various involvement of the skin, mucous membranes, bones, and brain. In early stages, all known treponema-related diseases cause lesions to the skin and mucous membranes, eventually leading to raised, eroding lesions. As the disease progresses, soft, tumor-like balls of inflammation called gummas may develop. These can massively disfigure the face and body. In this novel presentation, gummas seem to develop nearly exclusively on the face, and patients can develop an almost dog-like appearance due to the masses around their nose, mouth, and brows. Neurosyphilis, when syphilis symptoms occur in the brain and nervous system, is well known to cause behavioral changes and confusion. Changes to light reflexes in the eyes and damage to hearing are also common. The neurological involvement in the Yarnum variety is unusual for its overwhelmingly aggressive nature. Further research will be required to determine the cause of this. Syphilis, yaws, and begel can all involve the bones as they progress. Inflammation in the bones can cause long-term, low-grade damage, which is responded to by the body rapidly laying down new bone material. This new bone material can be brittle, and the bones may become warped and mishappened. In the Yarnum variety, this primarily affects the nose and the long bones of the arms and shins. While the lengthening of bones seen in Yarnum is highly unusual, this pattern of involvement matches that of yaws. I was able to almost certainly confirm my hypothesis by observation of a blood sample under the microscope, where I observed distinctive spirochetes. Genetic analysis will confirm how this organism is related to known species of treponema, at which point a species or strain name may be proposed. This new species appears to be far more infectious, and the disease progresses far more rapidly. Where syphilis can take years to progress to the tertiary stage, these changes can occur within hours of infection with the beast plague. It's possible that the Yarnum plague utilizes all the different transmission methods of syphilis, yaws, and begel. While highly unusual due to modern screening practices, there have been reported cases of syphilis transmission by blood. So transmission has been further exacerbated by the local practice of blood administration in Yarnum, where blood transfusions are used to treat all manner of illnesses. This practice is broadly overseen and administered by the town's powerful religious authorities. However, the high demand for blood transfusions has led to the practice being poorly managed, with unsanitary conditions and no screening for donors. This practice has intensified the spread of the infection to unprecedented levels. Further research is needed to determine susceptibility to antibiotics. Syphilis, begel, and yaws all respond excellently to antibiotic treatment, so there is a high likelihood that this novel beast plague may be treatable with even a single dose of azithromycin or penicillin. Developing vaccines for treponema species infections has proven challenging, so public health measures should focus on prevention as well as access to antibiotics. This could include education programs on blood screening and safe handling for medical professionals, and providing information about the risks of needle reuse to the general public. These measures should be implemented once the current outbreak is under control to prevent repeat incidents.